Women in modern society eventually have to accept the fact that there is a wall to hit. Now, many women complain about us talking about hitting the wall, about us talking about a woman being past her prime, about us talking about all of these things. But we have a woman today who agrees with that. Now, someone sent me a video on IG where actress Regina has hit 50, so she's well beyond the wall, and she has created a hit the wall anthem. Not for somebody else to sing, but for her to sing as she's hanging with her other singer wall banger friends. Now, this video isn't intended to diss women. This video is intended to speak to you young women who are out here living wild and free, flying by the seat of your pants, believing the hype that these women spread to you that you can do this and then your life is going to end up well at the end. It truly is not. You're going to end up like Regina Hall, creating a hit the wall anthem, reducing yourself to your true value. But it's only your true value because it's the value you've allowed yourself to be assessed because of your willingness to waste your younger, more productive years. Let's take a deep dive on this one. But first, let's elevate to a higher plane. Prepare for takeoff. Now, the reality of the matter is this. At some point, women have to accept that the wall is their destiny. It doesn't matter how well she takes care of herself. At some point, the wall is her destiny. Now, the saving grace is that you somehow miraculously have proven yourself worthy of having a husband that you actually respect and adore to grow old with. But the majority of women in this society aren't concerned with that. They're concerned with their careers and they're concerned with their objectives to make more money and to have trinkets and treasures and all of those things. And when they hit that wall, they realize that those trinkets and treasures are all they have because they've spent the time that a man who has even more trinkets and treasures would spend trying to woo them, acting like they were too good to be wooed. So let's take a listen to Regina Hall's new destined for multi-platinum hit, the Hit the Wall anthem, and then we'll come back and chop it up on a real tip.
Bitch is old today. I passed half my life expectancy. A bitch is old today. But I've been told I still got good pussy. So shout out to all my old bitches. And shout out to all my young bitches. Shout out to all my pretty bitches. And shout out to all my not so pretty bitches. A bitch is old today. And I'm shouting hoo-ha hooray. A bitch is old today. But I made it here gratefully.
Now, what I want to say to young women, and you men tell all the young women you know this, your daughters, your nephew, your daughters, your nieces, your little cousins, any young women that you know, that if you don't have a husband by a certain time, prepare to start cat hunting and spending your 50th birthday with your single girlfriends, just like Regina Hall is doing. The ultimate goal for a woman is to have a husband, children, big happy family. The sole purpose of her existence, the sole purpose of her creation. But if you spend all of your time worrying about these other things and not worrying about that, or wasting your time having children by men that you shouldn't be having children by, or not conforming to the mindsets that you need to have in order to create situations with those men, then you're going to end up like this woman here. A 50-year-old single mother making a song where the highlight of the song is that you give men good sex. Or so you've been told. Good thing for her, she has a little money to play with. But most women won't have that money to play with. Most of you will spend all of your lives on your careers and end up not really being situated financially at the end. Some of you will still have to work when you're older. Some of you will have to downsize your lifestyle when you're older. Some of you won't live to be older because the stress of being alone will take you out of the game. You have to understand that when you go from using your body as your value, your only value, I'm talking about when you're young and full of potential for other contributions to a man's life, suddenly you're going to be an older woman and only desired for your body. And even then, only by the few men who don't have better options. This woman said that she's been told that she had some good love. And who told her that? I didn't tell her that. I don't want to be with a woman her age. She didn't say she used to have good loving. She said now she's been told that she still has some good loving. Of course. There's some man out here who looks at Regina Hall as his fantasy. Ever since he saw her on TV the first time, she was his fantasy. It's just like there are some women out here who see Dr. BOA as their fantasy. Ever since the first time they saw me on YouTube TV, I was their fantasy. And there are other women who don't view me that way. And the women who view me that way will jump through hoops and still see me as the apple of their eye. The same thing with Regina Hall. There are some men who just see her as the apple of their eye. But I guarantee you there are no uber successful men. There are no men who have options, who have young, tender, vibrant options who are picking Regina Hall. And she knows this. So she understands that she is old by her own words, because now at this point in life, everything is different. All of you young girls out here who are in your 20s, wasting your time, putting miles on your body, being with all these different men, getting all of these spirit energies, you have to understand that this is your ultimate destiny. And I know some beta male simp man Johnny gonna come in here and say, well, Dr. BOA, man, that's the same thing, Dr. BOA. If you're a man, you out here traipsing around doing all that, Dr. BOA, it's the same thing for you. You got all these spirit energies in your body, Dr. BOA. You got all these different connections with all these different women, Dr. BOA, make you more undesirable to the next woman, Dr. BOA. You can't just put all this on women, Dr. BOA, and say they're the only one make spirit connection, Dr. BOA. You make them too. I make them too, Dr. BOA. You the only one who acts like there's a difference between men and women, Dr. BOA. Men and women are the same. They are equal. As a matter of fact, Dr. BOA, women are a little bit ahead of men, Dr. BOA. So if anybody's affected by the spiritual entities, Dr. BOA, it's men. Women are still as good as they've ever been. No matter how many men they've been with, no matter how many children they have with them men, there ain't no such thing as hitting the wall, Dr. BOA, unless you're a man. Unsubscribe. Okay, unsubscribe, sucker, but before you go, let me tell you this. Men have to stop listening to guys like you. And women have to stop listening to these old bras who have reached the precipice of bitterness. And they hate men because they blame all of the men that they've been with throughout their lives for not making them a wife. Even though they know deep down inside that they didn't do the things necessary to be a wife, to be considered a wife, to be looked at as a wife. They know this. I'm not making this up. That's why they're bitter. But their bitterness is truly directed at themselves. But no woman is going to admit that I'm bitter with myself for all the stupid decisions that I made in my younger years. You younger women, you also have to stop listening to these scallywags who have no self-esteem and convince you to use your body as a sex toy. Give your body to as many men as possible. Brag about it. Be confident in it. Don't worry about anything else. Don't worry about being a good girl. Don't worry about being a wholesome girl. Don't worry about being a virtuous woman. Don't worry about being a woman who is steeped in a high moral fiber. Don't worry about any of that. Just use your body to get the men that you want. And then when you have all those miles on your body, be bitter like these older women will be. You are on the path to destruction of your spiritual being, of your femininity when you live this way in your younger years. I promise you. The only people who can tell you how to be the type of woman that a man would want is an honorable man, a godly man who steeps himself in moral masculinity. No woman can tell you how to get a man because 9 times out of 10, the women who are telling you how to get a man ain't got no man. And let me tell you something. You might say, well, she's got many men. Yeah, because it takes many of those types of men to add up to the one man she truly wants. Many women are scarred. Many women have emotional issues that they cannot overcome without counseling. But they continue to be out here traipsing around acting as if they don't have these issues. You look at chicks like Megan Thee Stallion. You look at chicks like Cardi B, who are willingly promoting to women that they should be promiscuous. Why? Because misery loves company. Those two women are miserable. There are other women who are miserable. Most of them are rap chicks. Sukihana, miserable. If you're a young woman, you cannot be listening to these women telling you that the best thing you have to offer to the world is your body. Because there is a spiritual essence to you, just like there's a spiritual essence to me. And you have to allow yourself to fall into the fellowship of a leader, a spiritual leader, such as myself. And any man you come across who is steeping his entire outlook on life in moral masculinity. Because you know one thing is going to happen. You're going to be taught how to have value. And that value is going to be appreciated. Otherwise, you can go ahead and live the way you're living and end up being a 50-year-old woman who thinks it's great, phenomenal even, to create a hit the wall anthem, which admits that the only thing you've been told at this age by men is that you still have good loving, but you still ain't got no husband. Y'all comment down below and let me know what you think about this topic, man. I look forward to hearing what you men and women have to say. I'm out.